let's give another 40 billion to Argentina. Okay, no tackling any of the issues. No issues need to be tackled. Who cares? What do people do for work? What do you mean? In America, we just kind of sit around and wait. We call this the Will Stancil method. Yeah, it was very effective with the Brandon regime, so I assume it'll be even more effective with the Trump regime. Also, of course, Anyway, let's get back to the real issues that matter, okay? Donald Trump has accused Democrats of seditious behavior over telling the military to refuse illegal orders, which is literally in the rule books, okay? I need you to understand what is going. Are the middle class living conditions as bad as I thought? No. You could say that about like poor people, like really, really poor people in China, because that's still definitely a thing, but absolutely not, dude. The issues are youth employment, like youth unemployment in general. But as far as like middle class living standards, are you kidding me? I basically asked every Chinese person I could find, mostly in the cities, of course. So there's obviously that. But like, do you ever think about affordability? And they were confused. Just remember that. It's like living in an alternative reality for that reason. People that are our age and younger have issues, but like housing is not one of them, for example.
Has more harsh words for House Democrats.
That's insane.
So get this. The president is angered by a Washington newspaper's report saying that some Democratic lawmakers released a video urging members of the military to ignore unlawful orders. In fact, look at this. Trump said on Truth Social this morning, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." And then, a short time later, the president finished with this thought: seditious behavior, punishable by death. Heavy words there. Let's talk about them. CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman joins us now from the White House. So, Willie, take us through what prompted these posts from the president. He is clearly triggered by something.
Yeah, that's right, Reed. Well, this video was posted on social media. Democratic lawmakers who also served in the military posting this message to troops, saying essentially that they don't have to follow an unlawful order. Then you saw Trump's response, posting the Washington Examiner article about that social media post, and calling for these Democratic officials, saying that their behavior is seditious and punishable by death. Now, we are seeing a response from House Democratic leadership who are calling on the president to take this post down. They go into a statement. They say they condemn the president's disgusting and dangerous threats against members of Congress and call on the House Republicans to forcefully do the same. They then go on to, as I mentioned, call the president to take the post down, calling it an unhinged social media post, and for him to recant his violent rhetoric before someone gets killed. Now, I'll note.
This is so psychotic. MBS bent his ear. Days after Donald Trump hosts MBS, he says Democratic veterans in Congress urging U.S. service members not to obey illegal orders are engaging in seditious behavior punishable by death. Yeah. Would you say it's more the wages high or prices are low? And what mechanism are they using to make one or both happen? No, the prices are low. Wages are not high. I was talking to my friend about Chinese healthcare, and he said their affordability issues worse than the U.S. I didn't think it was accurate, but I'm not very educated on it. Did you hear anything about it from the locals? No, the affordability issues of healthcare in China are not worse than the U.S. That's bullshit. But it's not free. This is worse than your Rick Scott take. Yeah, he's the president. Of course it's worse. When the president says something, it's basically seen as like a decree. So yeah, everything he says of this sort is automatically going to be worse than that. On Xiaohongshu months ago, I was seeing the same thing over and over again when the topic of affordability comes up. Chinese netizens often wouldn't understand why Americans were complaining about affordability. They would just say, why are you spending so much that you can't afford anything? It's hard to explain to them a reality they've never known themselves. Did you get the dress shirt in China? Yes, this is another Army Logic shirt that I got. He says seditious behavior is punishable by death. It is. What did he say that was a lie? And what names did he name? Seditious behavior punishable by death when when it's directed at the Democratic Party for saying a correct statement about how the military has an obligation to not follow illegal rules. That's the problem. Because he's not talking about something that is actually seditious. I'll give you another example. Democrats have also talked about, explaining to people their rights against unlawful search and seizure. And ICE considers that to be a major problem. ICE gets very mad when Democrats like AOC explain to undocumented, documented migrants, and also U.S. citizens what their rights actually are, because ICE is in violation of those people's rights and their constitutionally protected liberties. So if Trump were to turn around and say, "Oh, it should be illegal to tell people what their rights are against unlawful search and seizures, punishable by death, because it's treason," that would be up on Trump's part, not on the part of people telling people what the laws are. You get what I'm saying? The Democrats aren't doing anything wrong in this circumstance. They're not actually trying to foment seditious behavior. They're just telling the military what the actual laws are, what the actual rules are. This is taught in the military. You have no obligation to follow an unlawful order. You could be court-martialed, you could be tried, but ultimately you will not be killed or jailed indefinitely for not following for refusing to follow an unlawful order. It's in the rules. So calling that out and informing people on this reality, on this rule itself, is not seditious behavior. If anyone is actually in violation of the rules, if anyone actually is trying to foment instability for no reason, is Donald Trump.
Speaker Johnson, the leader of the Republicans in the House, is also responding to this as well. When he was asked about the punishable by part of the president's statement, he essentially said that the president was defining the crime of sedition. He then goes on to tell reporters.
Trump was just explaining what sedition is and what the punishment is for sedition. That's all he was doing. Okay, but it doesn't fit in this circumstance. He was very obviously bringing this up specifically towards Democrats, saying it is seditious behavior, punishable by, to tell the military what the rules are. It's ridiculous. What is this? Another day in the greatest country on earth? I don't know why the internet's busted right now. Hong Kong internet. Man detained by ICE. Oh, that's sad. Man detained by ICE found dead, hanging with hands and feet tied. Attorney Newsweek. Mike Johnson defends Trump's sedition attacks on Democrats. Trump reposts call for Democratic members of Congress to be hanged. Trump does not want to execute members of Congress, White House says. Incredible. What a time to be alive. Greatest country on earth. I'm so glad that this is what we're doing. Folks, let me tell you how excited, how elated I am that this is what's going on in the United States of America instead of gay-ass bridges, bro. Why would anybody want to build infrastructure? That shit is lame as high-speed rail, ISP bandwidth improvements. Why would you do any of that lame-ass bullshit when you could be talking about the president having a will they, won't they about executing the opposition party? Play the clip. Yeah, it's the Coca-Cola. It's the Coca-Cola clip. We have real sugar in Coke. You aren't even getting cheap or BDS-approved Coca-Cola to drink. Shaking my head. Yeah, where are you going on that high-speed rail anyway? Your boyfriend's house to do butt stuff? Like, what are you doing, you know? Oh, TikTok doesn't work in Hong Kong. Chatters, you can't send me a TikTok link, unfortunately. I no longer have use for the VPN, ironically enough, because American apps work here. Has Marjorie Taylor Greene weighed in? Yeah, she was very concerned with the inflammatory rhetoric when it was directed at her. Bro, you can go to the Chinese embassy and get an emergency visa again. I did the same. F up. It took me 2 or 3 days and it cost like $300, but worth it. Yeah, I don't have 2 or 3 days left in China, which is very sad. It's a very sad thing to acknowledge. Okay? I need you to not bring this up any longer because it reminds me that I'm fucking leaving in 2 days. I'm leaving in 2 days. What is this? Paying for my groceries and pay... Oh, Jesus.
And even though we've made incredible progress, we understand that there's a lot more work to do. And the thing that I'd ask for the American people is a little bit of patience. This economy, and even though...
Oh, it's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Hold on. In the live stream clip you just shared on BTB, there's a way to apply for a visa. It is in the highly rated comment section. I don't even know how to get there. Hasan is a bull in a China shop. What is this? Fuck. I just sprayed myself with this fucking granulated sugar. God damn it. This it was on my performative shit too. You know Miles, Hong Kong? I am not playing. No. Sugar. Fuck. Look at this. This thing exploded on. Look. Oh, I just accidentally smacked myself in the balls. Oh. It's real. I did do that. It's devastating. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, that hurts bad. Oh, I fucking flicked my nut. Larry Kudlow humiliates himself. I think affordability is overrated. Wow, these guys are doing great. I think this is going to be a very good message to put out there. I think they're going to win with this and win big. Let's take a look at what Larry Kudlow is saying.
There are issues on some of these prices, although I think affordability is greatly overrated.
Yeah. Guys, affordability, just give us some time. Or the affordability arguments are, give us some time, be patient. Affordability is overrated. Affordability is not even a problem. It's fucking awesome. Hold on. I gotta send this. The Brandon method. Affordability is overrated, non-problem. They will solve in time. Ultimately it comes down to just stop being poor. My Mexican parents should have gone to China. What the fuck? The post-2008 world is so different from the pre-2008 world. My only hope is that the post-2026 world will also be different in a good way. Yeah, I think you're... Hold on. I have to figure out, why would they do affordability when they could just lie Lamau? Or why would they do affordability when they can tackle everybody transgender? A lot of people are not understanding that you could just simply tackle everybody transgender, right? That's the major thing to tackle. Everybody transgender, no affordability. The demands for affordability. Who cares about affordability? Everybody transgender. Love it. Love that this is basically... Love that this is basically more violent, base-boosted Brandonization. More violent and more racist, more bigoted Brandonization. Everything computer, everybody transgender. Let's give another $40 billion to Argentina. Okay, no tackling any of the issues. No issues need to be tackled. Who cares? What do people do for work? What do you mean? In America, we just kind of sit around and wait. We call this the Will Stancil method. Yeah, it was very effective with the Brandon regime, so I assume it'll be even more effective with the Trump regime. Also, of course, there's also this.
One man had a dream. A dream his life was meant for more than serving fries. Trump didn't just see Greece. He saw greatness. He didn't just see a fryer. He saw a fresh start for America. This is the tale of the American dream, where nothing is impossible.
Look at the crowd over there. Look how happy everybody is. They're happy because they want hope. They need hope.
Two sides of the same man, two chapters of the same story, from the Golden Arches to the Golden Age.
It is my honor to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
His list of accomplishments is breathtaking. He's blown up the deep state. He's proven the so-called experts completely wrong. His list of achievements almost endless, Meanwhile, promises made, promises kept.
This administration's moving at political light speed. Today, the flurry continues, and his Sharpie's working harder than Biden ever did.
We're asking you to dream big. We're bringing it back. This will be America's new golden age.
That's not a joke. That's like not a. That's not like a commentary on America. That's not like a sketch or an elaborate bit. This is a real thing that the White House posted. Fry emoji from the Golden Arches to the Golden Age. But no, talk to me more about China, bro. Burgers made, burgers kept. This is Burger Reich. This is fucking Burger Reich all the way. Add McDonald's on the boycott list. It's already there. It's already on the boycott list. It's been on the boycott list. Hey, heard you say Burger Reich and thought it was sweet? Yeah, they did. They heard it. And they were like, wow, we are Burger Reich, actually. This is from the official White House account, chatters. I need you to understand, like, this is not like fan made or anything. This is the White House made that. Okay, the fucking White House made that shit. Let's continue.
In this exchange there on Capitol Hill, that it was wildly inappropriate, talking about the video that was put out by the Democrats, and that the DOJ and the Pentagon are reviewing the matter. So a lot of moving parts with this developing story, and we'll of course monitor it. And I anticipate that the press secretary will be asked about this when she takes to the podium there in the next coming minutes. Once we see her, we'll of course bring you any developments that happens with this story, Reed.
And we are there. Willie James Inman, thank you so much for that report from the White House.
Nancy. Thanks, Caroline. This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to.
Bro, every time. Okay. I will say, Hong Kong is so sick. Hong Kong is so amazing. Every time I hear some fuck shit coming from the TV screen, the computer screen from America, I just walk out, just stare off into the distance, and I just bring it back. Okay? Like when I hear members of the media be like, is the president saying he wants to murder members of Congress from the opposition party? I just have to look outside and look at the port and look at all the fucking ships out there in the periphery, and just recenter myself. And it sucks because I have 2 more days of this, and then after that I have to be stuck in Los Angeles, California again. I feel like every day I wake up with a concussion. I'm pretty sure this administration is giving me brain damage. Everything is so dumb and bad. I mean, remember, this whole saga started with me in Japan. I escaped to Japan shortly after the inauguration, and it was the same exact bullshit back then. And now I have escaped to China, and it's still the same exact bullshit, if not worse. Things just keep getting worse. Think about it. It is 11/20/2025, okay? That means I left the country on January 20th, 2025. It has been 11 months of nonsense. 11 months of nonsense. Just think about that. Beginning of the year, I escaped the country during the inauguration. I was in Japan covering fucking American bullshit. It hasn't even been a full year. 11 months of non-stop bullshit, bro. And there are 3 more years of this. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? 11 months feels like 11 fucking years at this point. And seemingly, it's only getting worse.
Because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer, and notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
But the president has frequently, but Caroline, can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of...
Yeah. A bunch of Democrats say, hey, it is your responsibility to refuse to follow an unlawful order. Trump turns around and goes, hey, I don't like that because I like giving unlawful orders to the military. So I think the military should kill you. How is, like, this is the endless dynamic that frustrates, I assume, anyone that has a brain, right? It fucking pisses me off that this is the consistent position of the Republicans all the time. Something that you have done, I will do tenfold, and somehow you are worse than me for doing it. I will take something that you did, and I will claim it's the most illegal thing that anyone could ever say or do, and I will then double down on the exact same thing I'm blaming you of doing. Think about it. It's like, it's the same principle behind Donald Trump being like, I never hid documents. The government came after me inappropriately. They claimed I hid classified intelligence in the Mar-a-Lago facilities, only to fucking turn around and be like, but Biden absolutely did do that, and he should be in prison for it. Well, between you and Brandon, he actually cooperated with the authorities. You didn't. Dealing with Republicans is like dealing with an insane partner that's constantly fucking gaslighting you. You got more media coverage and flack for saying if people dislike Medicare fraud, they would kill Rick Scott than the president of the country saying Congress people should be killed for telling the military not to do illegal things. Yes. The frustration is the constant hypocritical snowflake victimhood that is unironically repeated by his base. I know. I can't stand it. I hate that. Be strong and you know, project an image of power if you want to do that. But this kind of like pussyfooting, I can't stand it. I can't fucking stand it. It annoys me so much because it's like, I know what you're doing. I see it. I see it every day. You're not fooling anybody. I hate that. I hate the cry bullying. I hate it so much. It's horrible. Bro, stop linking me this shit. Okay, we weren't there. I don't know what happened. It's a fucking horrible tragedy that like some tourist burned down like a part of a temple or something.
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
can refuse an illegal order, which
they're suggesting, Nancy.
U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Cool. That's cool. That's cool, normal, and good, right?
That the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. And the courts have proven that. This administration has an unparalleled record at the Supreme Court because we are following the laws. We don't defy court orders. We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they